up, guys? Dr. Vic here. Excited to have you on another episode on the Mindful Experiment. This week, this is something I've been talking a lot about, and I thought this would be great to share with y'all. And that's going to be in life, if you have a business or just life in general, this is going to play a role on, and regardless where you are, but for business owners, I share this a lot because it's one of the things that we think that from a business world, we kind of separate our business life with our personal, and we think that our personal problems don't affect the business, right? And we think our business problems should be separate from the personal. Well, that I don't know who taught this, but it's kind of like saying the mind does not affect the body and the body doesn't affect the mind, what medical science has said for who knows how long. And the truth be told is we know now, based on science, that actually the mind plays a huge role when it comes to one's health. And we know that the body plays a huge role when it comes to one's mind. So this is the kind of same concept. So in life, in business, and so I share a lot about is that whatever you have personally going on internally affects the business. Let me explain how that works. You see, we all have limiting beliefs. We have beliefs that are empowering, and then we have beliefs that are limiting. Okay. And we've all been conditioned in some way, shape, or form that we've taken on these things, and they're all conditioned from a young age. If you have a limiting belief in any way, shape, or form, that limiting belief is not just going to play a role in your personal life. It's not going to just be something with money. It's going to be something with relationship. It's going to be something with your health, mindset. It's also going to be something with your business. The reason why that is so true is because if you have a low self-worth, that low self-worth is going to show up in every aspect of your life. Okay. You can't just have low self-worth in one area and then everything else will be fine. That's not how things work here when it comes to beliefs. Beliefs are a process that affect every fabric of who we are. And so understanding that when you're looking at your business and you're looking at the aspects of your business and life in general with that, you want to understand that those things that show up in business are things that are personally within. And life is always trying to have you wake up in one shape, way, or form. And somebody say wake up. Some say be aware. When I say the word wake up, it's creating awareness. It's always trying to bring things to you to help you become more aware of the things you need to clear out, work on, break out old conditioning, to help you really allow that soul, that beautiful essence of you express to the world. And so it's always a feedback system. It's always going to show you those things. So it's going to use every fabric of your life to create that awareness. Does that make sense? And so business, a lot of times, and business owners, what they'll do is they just think, oh, no, it's just a business problem. I have to focus on, I have to just do this and everything will be fine, right? You get 1,000 leads and you have a closing rate of, or let's say 100 leads and you only close 20 of them. And you're like, well, it's just what the numbers are. It's in this industry. It's this, it's that. And we justify why we do what we do or why are the results we get. Instead of saying maybe there's something deeper. I know this wasn't me. I have a low self-worth issue. And so what ended up happening in my own practice when I first started as a chiropractor, it was always interesting to see how when I started to go down that path, I get 10 new patients and I'm only closing 20%. And I'm like, man, why is it? Maybe I'm not worthy enough. Maybe I missed something here. Maybe I did this. Maybe I did that. All that changed in my career. It took about 5-6 years to really master this. I realized that it wasn't them or what I said. It was my energy and my presence of what I was showing up. And when I had worked through that self-worth stuff and finally changed that around to something empowering, what was fascinating is in the report, when I'm sharing the results and what I recommend and so forth, I came from more of an empowering place, a worthiness. So when you come from that, you have to understand there's a lot of things that show up that you don't realize you're doing. Remember, it's all subconscious. My body language was more welcoming and opening and more empowering. Open hand gestures, all these different. I was just doing this naturally. My tone was a lot more direct, clear, softer tone, accentuating my verbiages and so forth, coming with assertiveness rather than, if this may work, or choosing words that are not as empowering and so forth, right? And my just perspective of it all was just like, here is what I know I can help you. Here's what I know I can do. It's totally up to you. If you're ready to take this journey, let's go ahead and let's make this happen. And from that moment, that's where a huge shift started to happen where in my practice, all of a sudden my conversions were going through the roof, 80, 90, 95%. And again, it comes back to then understanding that I had to really get through this self-worth stuff. And when I broke through that, then all of a sudden everything started to change in my life. And it wasn't just in business. Because remember, this is a belief, it's something that affects every aspect of your life. For me, it was that aspect of focusing, seeing it in the business side. But then I started to see it in my relationship. I started to see it in with other things, in my mindset, and I started to take care of my body better. So I started to take care of my mind better. I started to really care about what I enjoyed, and what mattered to me. And it was just a huge shift in every fabric of my life. And so the thing is that we all have these sort of limiting beliefs in some way, shape, or form, and they all affect us in every facet of our life. You can't separate business. And the same thing the other way around. I want to make sure I mention that. A lot of times some people think, well, the business is really stressing me, or business is this, or the business is that, or I'm the only one that, like, some people say I have the business. My partner is not part of this business, so it doesn't affect them at all. Yes, it does, because when you go in the business of something, they're in the business with you, whether you think they are or they're not, because nothing's ever 100%. You're not going to always be on your A game. You're not going to always be excited. There are ups and downs, and they have to deal with those, work with those up, not deal, but work with you on those ups and downs. They have to be there to support you on your downs and your ups and so forth, and go through the whole process of what is starting the business and the growth of that, but the issues with the business or the ups and whatever it may be. They all go through the same process. So that is something that you want to understand, that this is how the business can affect that. If the business is struggling or you're not getting the results you want, a lot of times after a period of time of seeing that weighs on somebody. It stresses somebody, and it can affect people in many different ways. So the concept then becomes looking at yourself, looking at your life, and saying, okay, how do I then as an individual, right, got to change that up, because the business is going to affect the personal, just as personal affects the business. There is no separation between the two. And once we start to understand this more, then we understand that what shows up in business, this is said in business world all the time, your business is a byproduct of who you are. And so the challenges you face in business are really the challenges that you have personally that you want to work through. I know when I started to accept this, my marriage went through the roof, like amazingly. And the reason why is because what was showing up in my life, like let's say lack of communication with a patient, or if I missed this, or I didn't explain this, or I wasn't as thorough enough, I started to look, man, where else is that showing up in my life? And I started to see it in other areas. So then I started to get crystal clear on those to get better, especially in a relationship. And that started to strengthen and improve it, because when you improve communication in anything, it's always going to get better. And so it's one of those processes that you can do in your life to start with that. So this is all good in theory, right? I mean, it's factual. This does work, but it's one of the things where, how do you start the journey? Well, one is you got to create awareness. And a lot of people are like, just tell me what to do. I don't want to do that. Well, I'm telling you what to do. The awareness is the first part. That's being present. That's being aware to see what's showing up as a pattern in your life, to start to implement that. Say, okay, well, I'm starting to understand this. I see this happening often in business. Let me see where else that shows up in my life. Okay. Or I notice this happens in my personal life. And man, where is that showing up in my business life? Because it's there. Now, some people say, well, it wasn't 100. It's not identical. Well, sometimes the masks are different, but I can wear a different mask every single day. Right. And I can talk the same. I can even change my voice. You'll think it's someone different, but at the end of the day, it's still me. It's still me, Vic Manzel. That's who I am. And it's the same concept when it comes to your life. It may show up in different masks, but it's still the same problem. So the awareness is the greatest key to understanding that before you can make the change. Because once you become aware, there's a feeling sometimes in the body. So I teach my coaching clients. There's a feeling that will show up in the body that you'll know that it's it. You don't have to figure it out. You don't have to think about it, because you're going to mess that all up. It's a feeling. And once you get that feeling down, then that becomes a game changer for you. That's when it's going to all start to become more aware, because now you're allowing the body to tell you how that works. And from that process, it's going to allow you then to make the changes faster, so that you don't continue down that path. So you can really create radical change in business and in every aspect of your life. And that's the goal of why I'm sharing this. This is the vision of why I wanted to share this with you today, to help in that way, shape, or form. Cool? I kept this one a little short, but I want to be direct. If you like it, please, if you like the episode, please take a moment, share with someone, pay it forward. If you're looking to really implement this in your life, if you're a business owner and you really want to break free, create more fulfillment, make more money, and really hit some big goals for 2023. Click at the bottom of the show notes. There's a link called callwithdrvic.com. Click on it. Let's have a breakthrough call. Let's see what's going on more, the struggles, the things you want to achieve, the speed you want to get to them at. And let's see if I can help. And if I can, I'll share how my coaching program can do that and so much more. Last but not least, if you haven't subscribed to the podcast, please do. Greatly appreciate you doing that. And then as always, if you're enjoying the podcast, please share a review. It really helps us get out there and really get our message out there to the world. I want to thank you guys. If you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas. You celebrate Hanukkah, which I don't know if it even already happened, but Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Happy Holidays. Appreciate you guys. I will be coming back to y'all after the Christmas weekend next week to share some more insightful wisdom, some reflections, a little heart warmth episode of my token of appreciation for you, for listening, and just for being on this journey with me and inspiring me to continue to create episodes and so much more. So until then, much love. Keep rocking and rolling.